Back, Robert and Susan on the daily dose of dopamine. We're so glad to see you and hear you, and please make the comments and keep having this thing grow. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, by the way, which
Yes, we are.
is a big deal. So please keep sharing this with everybody. And if you'd like to share something with us, you can be a guest on the dose, no problem. We're talking all things King Kong, and so I'd like to talk something that excites people all the time and is kind of a fun thing of these, which is the swag bag. Uh,
Please.
You've been to festivals and conventions before. You know what a swag bag is, right?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a swag shirt.
There you go. It's the
It's
stuff,
totally
stuff you get for
unplanned.
signing up, as it were. So
Yes.
the duffel is cool. And by the way, their artwork, really, really cool. This is all red based because of it and the red balloon, of course, the very incredible.
Robert, is con short for convention? Is
That's
it?
exactly right. And that comes from Comic Con,
I
which
thought,
is
yeah.
right. That is like the monster, the behemoth of all conventions. Um, but it starts in a very small way, and so this is your opening gift when you come, and it was filled with all sorts of. I'll just bring them forward. Fun things, water bottles, and this is a patch, and this is a keychain, and there was a poker chip. Um,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, it has
In
Las
Vegas,
Vegas,
nice,
right?
nice.
And a sticker and a very cool balloon. A lot of these were blown up, like the
I
red
was
balloon.
wondering, were there red balloons like
Oh
around?
yeah, there was plenty of red balloons just to creep you out. Absolutely. There was also this amazing new print book which Stephen King has endorsed. It's a
Oh,
behind the
wow.
scenes story of his time in college at the University of Maine, which includes the
Wow.
story. I mentioned Hearts in Atlantis today. They call this Hearts in Suspension. One of them is a reprint of Hearts in Atlantis. And so that's in here. But there are essays by his college classmates and friends included in here. So
That's
it's this retrospective, and it's a little hard to see, but that face in the crowd there, that's Stephen King from his time in the 60s, which is also your time in college, I believe, right? You
I
guys are
graduated in 73.
so
However, Stephen King was the speaker at my daughter's kindergarten graduation. Not exactly because she was in kindergarten, but it was the same day as the seniors of her little school graduated. He was the speaker, so I have.
wait a minute. I got to hear this. I got to make sure I heard that clearly. Stephen King was a speaker at a kindergarten graduation.
It was really a high school senior graduation, but the seniors and the little kids, the kindergartners, graduated
I'm just
together.
trying to picture little 5-year-olds
So were
because
we.
I mean, one of Stephen King's lines is, I've got the heart of a child. It's in a jar on my desk.
Oh.
I mean, he loves being creepy Uncle Steve. That's his whole thing. Well, that's great. So there were these wonderful, another thing to bring forward, these wonderful bookmarks from the Dark Tower. Beautiful artwork. And the
Wow.
Dark Tower series is, again, his magnum opus. There's Roland facing the Dark Tower. And they gave you these as collector's items. And they said there's three of them. And you'd get three in your pack, but they'd all be the same. So you were forced to meet other people and trade.
Nice.
So that was one. Here's the second. Again, Roland going through the portal for the Dark Tower. And then the third, here's Roland with his trusty guns right there crossing. So that was in there, amazing, and a good way to get outreach with people. There
That's
was,
pretty good.
yeah, there was certainly a notepad. There was a beautiful book to do autographs and things like that, which people really wanted of We Lucky Quarter filmmakers. That was fun to sign a bunch of autographs. Uh, I made sure everybody
Very
got the
cool.
tag, get busy writing or get busy dying. So that's what they'll know
Yeah.
me as.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got the lovely placard when we were up on
Right.
stage. That's a keeper, right? Very nice thing.
Yeah, from the panel. Cool.
Yeah. And then, of course, our badges, which, get you in everywhere, the general admission type thing.
Huge.
Yeah, they're very cool. And
Yeah.
and they had tons of giveaways. And I'll say this, the one giveaway I didn't get that I was, oh man, was I fired up about. I'm not much of a collector of really anything, but I do take tremendous pride in having all seven, I should say seven of the eight Dark Tower books signed by Stephen King. That's an offshoot of having won that contest. and they're signed, and some of them even have some personal. Robert, I think one of them says, "Hope to see you at the game at Fenway," type thing, because we had
Oh,
planned
cool.
to meet at
Wow,
a
wow,
game
wow.
and it
Yeah.
didn't work out. But they're signed all of them. He released an eighth book afterward called "Wind Through the Keyhole," and this was years after,
Yeah.
and so I never got that one.
Shoot.
Um, and they gave, I mean, of all books, and he has, God, I don't know how many books, but of all books, they gave that out for one, signed by Stephen King. And I'm losing my mind going, you've got to call my number. And there were, I think, 700 people registered. So I had a, 1 in 700 shot at it. And I
Ah.
didn't get it, unfortunately. And I actually, I mean, it's not like I have the money, but I approached the guy later. I said, is there any way you'd consider selling that? And he said to me, I'm not really a King fan. I wanted to strangle him. And then he said, yeah, but my wife, she's the reason I'm here and she seems to want to keep it. I'm like,
Oh, well, that was that.
oh, if you're out there, sir, just know I'm not happy.
You're not over it.
No, I'm not. But I know people love this stuff. Oh, here's another fun thing. This will actually lead to another because I know we're at time. But signed opportunities were all over the place. Here is Gerald's Game poster signed by the director, Mr. Flanagan himself.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
Flanagan. So that was available just for knowing the code, which was 19. That is Stephen King's magic number he's written about in many places and shows up in the
Uh-huh.
dark.
If you
So this movie, that's funny. I mentioned a little to you about that. Let's
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about this on another dose. What do you say?
I
Because
say yes.
there was a screening of it, and it was the first time I've seen it. There's a reason why I hadn't watched it before.
Oh
So,
my gosh, I'm not sure I can make
all right,
it.
we'll talk in a minute.